Former Muskingum University student accused of killing her newborn child and hiding the body.
Emilie Weaver.
Emilie Weaver appeared for the first time before a judge to fight accusations that could put her in prison for life.
The study bathroom looks like a murder scene, as the Delta Gamma Theta Sorority house manager of Muskingum University in Ohio joked in a group chat. She could have never thought that something so sinister had happened there. That morning, April 22, 2015, a sorority sister opened the bathroom door and was disgusted by what she saw. She is a woman, of course, leaving a sorority house full of other women, so when she saw the floor of the bathroom splattered in blood, she thought that maybe it was a hygiene issue. That kind of made sense, I guess. But it doesn't make sense at the same time, because who leaves their period blood on the floor without cleaning it? Not thinking much about this, the girl showed the house manager what she had seen, which was why the house manager sent the group message so that whoever made the mess could come clean it off. The room manager had just made a joke that it looked like a murder scene, and she had no idea how close to the truth she was. Before this whole thing happened, there had been ongoing rumors that one of the sorority sisters, Emilie Weaver, was pregnant, but no one was able to prove it. It wasn't like they could just walk up to her and ask her, because that would be so weird, right? Emilie had been acting strange for months leading up to this and even gained weight a bit, which was how the rumor that she was pregnant started in the first place. Even Emilie's roommate felt like something was wrong, and she had claimed in the days leading to the discovery of the baby's body that Emilie had been sick all day on one particular day, and that she had looked skinnier when they both went out for dinner. The roommate had concluded that she had maybe miscarried because, at this point, she never really suspected Emilie was pregnant, though, until the rumors started flying around and then everything started making sense. Even at that, Emilie's roommate still couldn't say for sure that she was pregnant. It wouldn't make sense for her to be pregnant since she had never shown signs of it. She was still the party type with her, and she had seen her drinking alcohol and smoking marijuana. Think that she was hoping that she would lose the pregnancy by doing that, but she didn't obviously. Emilie must have been so good at hiding it because even the people who thought she was pregnant never for once thought that she could be so late into her pregnancy as to deliver the baby and dispose of it in the trash at first, but the whole study bathroom thing made them think twice. Well, one of them got so curious and suggested that could have happened. Some of the sorority sisters who were at the Diary Duchess, which was apparently a fast food restaurant after losing a debate, were discussing things around them until one of them brought up Emilie. They were talking about the mystery surrounding the rumors, and one of them suggested that what if she had given birth and dropped the baby in a trash can? The state the study bathroom was left in was too bad for them to just dismiss that thought because it made sense at that time. Emilie's roommate and one other girl refused to go, but fortunate or unfortunate, the other two sorority sisters who were there were too curious to just let the whole thing go. The two of them decided that they were going to search the bins and see if they could find anything that could prove she had given birth. One of the girls' names was Elise. She didn't really know Emilie much because she had joined the sorority recently, but she wanted to satisfy her curiosity. I honestly believe that the two of them were not expecting to find a dead baby when they decided to do this. They were probably expecting some disposed of clothes with amniotic fluids or something like that. The two of them left the restaurant, went back to their sorority house, and started looking for anything that could give a clue as to what was going on. They almost gave up when they realized that they were looking crazy and digging into bins. They must have felt disgusted, obviously. They noticed a small trash bag next to them, though. The bag was oddly heavy and leaking fluid. I honestly salute them because I would have gotten so freaked out at this point. According to the two of them, the bag was knotted so tightly that the two of them couldn't even untie it. The other girl who had gone to check the trash bags together with Elise decided that they should tear a whole thing into the bag, and they did. The trash bag looked completely normal, which could be because it was already getting dark at that point. The trash bag had some regular things you could find there, meaning that Emily had actually put enough thought into this in case somebody, for any reason, actually opened it. Inside the trash bag were an instant mac and cheese box, a freezer pop wrapper, and a Doritos bag. The two of them were about to give up when one of them saw what she claimed looked like a leg. She didn't want to believe that it was truly a leg for obvious reasons, because she obviously doesn't want to believe that her sorority sister was capable of doing something like that. The two of them decided to just believe that they didn't see right and left the back of the sorority house. They shared with the sorority president what they saw, or, should I say, what they thought they saw. The sorority president was like, "We should get to the bottom of this," so she made them lead everyone present back to where the trash bag was. Reluctantly, the two of them led the other girls back to where the trash bag was. They were all probably telling themselves that it couldn't be true in their minds at this point, but I admire their courage to get to the truth of the matter. The other sorority was shocked when they saw the trash bag and noticed the leakage from the bag. Wanting to get the whole thing over with, Elise turned on her phone flashlight to look through the trash bag since it had gotten darker outside. Elise peered inside and was shocked to see that it was a baby, so she just started sobbing to her sorority sisters that a baby's body was inside the trash bag. This was all going on while the other sorority sisters in the sorority house were making their own investigations and stipulating. The house manager might have made the joke about the study bathroom looking like a murder scene, but it sparked reactions with the sisters that were at home at that point. When some of the Delta sisters went to check what exactly the study bathroom looked like, they found something the house manager didn't see, which was a bloody serrated knife that Emily later said she used to cut the umbilical cord. The four girls that found the body then went on to call their school's director of Greek affairs, who then went on to call the police. Emily was, of course, arrested because that was the next thing, right? She was the only one suspected to be pregnant before the whole mess. So even though there was no direct evidence pointing at her as the mother of the baby girl they had found, the police decided to arrest her. So, how did Emily become the messed up girl that was capable of killing her own child? According to the findings, Emily's mother, Sandy Potts, was a rape victim who was sexually assaulted by her classmate when she was in her sophomore year of high school. She was depressed and suicidal after that and eventually became an alcoholic, which was pretty much understandable. Sandy found it very hard to deal with the trauma and wanted to leave after she finished high school, but her parents wouldn't let her leave. She had finished high school earlier than she should have, and her parents didn't want her to move to college until she turned 18. Her parents were probably being overprotective, I guess, but I don't really see why her going to college a few years or months early was a problem. While Sandy was home, basically doing nothing because she had graduated high school and was not allowed to attend college, she met an older guy. She got pregnant with him and became a single mother after that. I guess it didn't work out with the older guy, but then her dreams of getting into college went away after that because she had to take care of her child. Sandy then started working at a discount department store and fell in love with a Vietnam veteran named Mike Weaver, who was twice her age, so you could say she has a type, and they are older men, not judging. She gave birth to Emily on December 25, 1994. Yes, Emily was a Christmas baby. Sandy was 22 at the time, and she already had 3 children under the age of 4. Remember that Mike was a Vietnam veteran, so of course he also had his own demons to face. Sandy believed that he had untreated PTSD, which was common among veterans then and even now. Mike dealt with his PTSD by overworking himself, and then he started drinking too much and started abusing Sandy physically. He never hurt the kids, though, but that doesn't make what he was doing okay or make him a good person. He is abusive, and it is as simple as that. Emily said that she remembered her parents fighting constantly growing up and that she developed anxiety because of that. Mike Weaver is what you would define as someone who loved to have authority over people. Sandy and Mike divorced while Emilie was 12, and you would think that would be the end of their sorrows. But Mike died 2 years after the divorce. She remarried, of course, and this time around, she married a man who was described as controlling. Emilie claimed that they felt isolated at the house and were on their own a lot. Sandy had gotten sick with various diseases by the time Emilie was becoming a teen, so Sandy missed a lot of milestones due to her getting treatment for the ailments. Emilie, like her mother, was a high-achieving student. She was popular and smart. She started dating in her junior year of high school and was with her boyfriend until they graduated. Sandy was glad that Emilie didn't allow what happened to her to happen to herself and was proud that her daughter got into college, something she couldn't do because she had gotten pregnant and had to quit so she could raise her baby. Emilie had a good start at the college, and even her sorority sister described her as a fun person. She was known as a very active and kind person, so everyone was surprised to find out that she was capable of killing a baby. She had been dating a student athlete that she met on her first night of school during a bonfire. She claimed that her boyfriend at the time, let's call him Jack, was abusive. They apparently had this on and off thing going on between them. She then went ahead to break up with the said boyfriend at the end of her freshman year. Emilie had reported that she started her sophomore year of college as a single lady and moved into the sorority house with her best friend and roommate. Less than 2 weeks after the classes started, she claimed that she had gone to Muskingum's wellness center seeking birth control. As a routine practice, she did a pregnancy test, of course, and the test came out negative at first, but I guess they took her blood sample or something like that and took further tests because by September of 2014, she had gotten a voicemail and 2 emails asking Emilie to visit the wellness center, but Emilie, for whatever reason, didn't respond to their messages. We can't say for sure if Emilie had done her own tests and realized that she was pregnant, so she was avoiding the nurse who was trying to reach out to her. The nurse who attended to her when she visited the wellness center didn't stop at just sending voicemails and emails to her. She went to one of the doctors and the director of the wellness center and told them about Emilie and how she had been trying to reach her. The doctor and director, in good faith, decided to send a certified letter to her through campus mail, and Emilie got an envelope containing her pregnancy test. She testified that she didn't want to know what was inside the envelope, so she never opened it. I guess it is understandable that she suspected she could be pregnant and was scared that opening the envelope would make it real, and that was why she never opened it, but we can't say for sure. I think I was scared. I felt like I didn't want to know, so I just put it off, she said. What I can say for sure is that if she did know that she was pregnant, then she made several attempts to terminate the pregnancy. For those who are wondering, why didn't she abort? Well, we don't know. Maybe she found out after 22 weeks and couldn't abort, or she didn't just want to believe that she was pregnant. We might never know. According to reports, Emilie fell down the stairs while she was coming down the stairs. In October, a sorority sister even went ahead to say that over the next few weeks after that, other Delta sisters had seen her fall in a similar manner. She had apparently blamed alcohol as the reason for the falls, and of course her sorority sisters believed her cause. Why not? There was one person who knew that Emilie was or could be pregnant, and it was her abusive ex. According to her testimony, she didn't particularly say that she was pregnant but said she could be, but the ex-wife went ahead to tell her that he wanted no part in her or the baby. It was apparently baseball season, and having a baby on the way at that time would be distracting. This is where it gets a little bit confusing because Emilie said she didn't know she was pregnant. Well, she also later said that on a November weekend, which was after she had thrown herself down the stairs so many times, she and Jack wanted to drive to an abortion clinic, but an ice storm hit. The two of them, of course, turned back, but they never went again because, according to Emilie, she didn't want to go alone and Jack was busy with baseball season. She was beginning to show at this point, and everyone was asking questions, but she kept denying them. One of her sorority sisters even told the police that she had reached out to Emily after the rumors got serious. She claimed she didn't outright ask if she was pregnant but offered her support, but Emily told her she was okay and everything was fine. Of course everything was not okay, but I guess she didn't know anyone she could talk to about this, so she was trying so hard to hide her pregnancy. Her sorority sisters, of course, tried to get her to tell them she was pregnant, but they failed. They tried to get her to decline taking alcohol when they were playing a particular game they play at one of their parties. Emily, of course, took the alcohol, shocking her Delta sisters, but they were not satisfied. Emily was trying so hard to make them believe that she wasn't pregnant. I know this might be a little bit controversial, but I'm honestly starting to pity her at this point. I get that they were trying to get her to open up so they could help, but they kept pushing her to tell them if she was pregnant. She was not obligated to tell them, and honestly, it felt like they were putting her on the spot and trying to bully her. They didn't stop at the alcohol thing, though. The Delta sisters went ahead and tried to test her again by trying to get her to play dodgeball, hoping she would cave and finally tell them. Emily played the game and even fell hard while she was dodging the ball aimed at her. I think they decided from then on to just let her tell them in her own time. Fast forward to the day Emily gave birth to her baby. A Delta sister claimed that when she woke up around 7:30 for any class, she had heard this screeching that sounds like dying cat, followed by 3 or 4 cries. She said she had followed the noise to the study, and when she saw light under the study bathroom door, she assumed that it was one of her sorority sisters playing a game or watching a video on her phone, so she let the person be and went about her business. Emily, on the other hand, claimed that he had massive stomach pain and diarrhea the night before she gave birth. She said she thought she had caught a stomach bug, which I found really ridiculous. Fine, she could have caught the flu or stomach bug, but I feel like the pain should be different. She said that she went to the study bathroom that morning with the intention of leaving the toilet. I would like to assume that this was the furthest toilet away from her room, though, because I believe she and her roommate had their own bathroom. But back to the story. She said that she thought she was going to just defecate because that was what she thought she was feeling when she went to the study bathroom. She then claimed that it wasn't until she started feeling some lower pressure that she realized that she was having a baby. She then went ahead to say she only pushed once, and the baby came out. She then went ahead to pull the baby out of the toilet by pulling her out with her shoulder. Yes, she gave birth to a baby girl. This was when things started becoming gruesome, according to her. I was bleeding really bad and noticed that the placenta cord was still in. Delivering the placenta didn't stop the bleeding, so she stuffed paper towels in her lady parts. Emily then got a serrated knife from the kitchen and cut the umbilical cord. She said she then placed the baby facing upright in the bathroom's trash pail. The chief forensic pathologist said the baby was pink and healthy and about 38 weeks old. So I guess that was probably why Emily didn't know she was giving birth at first, because the baby wasn't quite full term. The pathologist also testified that the baby had no bruises, signs of strangulation, or stab wounds, but she did die from asphyxia. So, after Emily was arrested, she was charged with aggravated murder, abuse of a corpse, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence. The charges brought against her were very serious given that she could have just left the baby at a hospital, police station, or fire station without facing any charges, as it was allowed in the state within the first 30 days of giving birth. She could have done that because, according to reports, she was 8 minutes away from the police station. The prosecutors argued that even though she claimed that she didn't plan on murdering the baby and it just happened.
State of Ohio versus Emilie Weaver.
Your Honor, this morning I filed a plea of not guilty by resentencing as well as a plea of not guilty.
Evidence pointed to the fact that she did plan on killing the baby from the get-go. If throwing herself down the stairs several times, taking alcohol, smoking marijuana, and playing dodgeball weren't enough proof, her text to the supposed father showed that it was her intention from the get-go. She had texted him, "No more baby, taken care of, and don't worry about it." She also took some supplements that had warnings that they shouldn't be taken by pregnant women or nursing mothers. Before the trial, Emilie's lawyer, Aaron Miller, entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. The judge then ordered Emilie's evaluation to be done by a court-ordered physiologist, which established her competency to stand trial and her lack of severe mental illness twice.
What they're looking at is to determine whether the defendant did not know, as a result of a severe mental disease or defect, the wrongfulness of their acts.
The evaluation didn't happen just once, but twice, actually. The psychologist then went on to say that the most notable thing at that moment was the fact that Emilie seemed to be in denial about the whole thing. She then further explained that while Emilie was showing some dependent traits of paranoid personality disorder, it was not enough for her to be officially diagnosed. We should note that Emilie's lawyer once represented someone with a similar case to Emilie's back in 2003, and the person was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Back to Emilie's case, her attorney admitted that while Emilie was totally wrong for stuffing her Addison into the trash bag, she didn't kill the baby. He claimed that the asphyxiation could have been caused by the way the baby was set down before being placed in the garbage bag, not by a lack of oxygen in the bag itself, which doesn't make sense to me. Miller tried to dispute the autopsy findings, but it didn't work out. After deliberating for an hour and 18 minutes, the jury found Emilie guilty on all counts of the charges brought against her. Emilie was given the opportunity to speak at her sentencing. She apologized to her daughter Addison and her sorority sisters, especially the ones who found the baby and were traumatized by it, which of course is expected. Judge Flegel, who was the judge in charge of the case, then went ahead to read the letter that Emilie had written to him and realized that she was still talking about herself, prioritizing her feelings and not the baby's. On the charge of aggravated murder, she was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. The county prosecutors claimed that they felt like she had gotten off easy and thought that she would be given a death verdict. The story doesn't end there though, as the Deltas, the sorority that Emile was in when she was pregnant and gave birth to the baby in Cause You Have Forgotten, decided that they should appeal to get Emilie a lighter sentence back in April 2022. They claimed that Miller didn't include Emilie's mental health history to the jury and didn't present any expert testimony on her mental health issues. Don't forget that this same lawyer at the time back in 2015 had tried to plead not guilty by the reason of insanity. It wasn't until the day of sentencing that he spoke about neonaticide for the first time. For those who don't understand, neonaticide is the deliberate act of a parent murdering their own child in the first 24 hours of life. Emilie's new public defenders hired a psychotherapist, Diana Lynn Barnes, to assess Emile. The psychotherapists talked about how detached Emilie had been and how she didn't feel safe in the sorority house because they were being judgmental. Emile's new legal team claimed that her formal lawyer didn't do her enough justice or defend her properly, which was why she was given such a harsh sentence. Emilie said that she felt like the sentence was harsh and that she hated the fact that she had planned to kill the baby, and felt like a monster once the realization of what she did finally fell on her. Judge Mark Flegel was not convinced by the attempts of Emilie's legal team though, and felt like her first attorney Aaron Miller did a fine job. He said he wasn't convinced that Emile was remorseful. However, the Supreme Court of Ohio ruled that the judge's sentence was biased, and her predetermined her fair before considering the evidence that indicated neonaticide with a 4-3 vote. Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor added that Judge Flegel used his personal opinion to judge her instead of considering evidence. The divided Supreme Court has now asked Emilie Weaver to be resentenced by a different judge. Emilie was then resentenced to 20 years to life in prison, meaning that she would be eligible for parole after 20 years in prison.